My name is Charlotte. I'm 28 years old. I grew up in a small town with big dreams. Ever since I was a little girl, I loved watching cooking shows on television. While other kids played outside, I stayed in the kitchen with my grandmother, learning how to cook with love. She used to say, "One day, Charlotte, you'll open your own place, feed people from the heart." That dream stayed with me. After high school, I didn't go to college. Instead, I started working. I knew what I wanted. I worked hard. I saved every dollar. For 6 years, I worked 2 jobs, one at a diner during the day, another at a bakery at night. I lived simply. No vacations, no new clothes, no fancy food. I packed lunch every day. My goal was clear, to open my own restaurant. I believed in myself, but more than that, I believed in love. Then one day I met Jason. He walked into the diner where I worked. He was handsome, polite, and always smiling. He sat at the same table every morning and ordered the same coffee. One day he left a note on his napkin. It said, "You have the most beautiful smile." I laughed. I blushed. We started talking. Small talks became long conversations. He told me, "You're special, Charlotte. I want a future with you." My heart was full. No one ever made me feel like that. We began spending time together. Coffee shops, walks in the park, phone calls every night. He listened to my dreams. I told him about my vision, my savings. "Let me help you, Charlotte," he said. "We can do this together." I trusted him. I told him about my savings, $100,000, 0 cents. Money I had never even used. It was everything I had. One evening he looked into my eyes and said, "Let me invest it for you. I know people who can double it in 6 months. You'll open a big restaurant bigger than you ever dreamed." I hesitated. My fingers trembled. But he held my hand and said, "Charlotte, don't you trust me?" I said, "Yes." I gave him the money. He kissed my forehead and said, "You won't regret this." The next day, he didn't text. The day after that, his phone was off. By the third day, his number didn't work. My heart sank. I went to his apartment. It was empty. He was gone, and so was my $100,000, 0 cents. I began to cry. I couldn't breathe. I screamed inside, "Why? Why did he lie to me?" I couldn't sleep that night. My heart was broken and my head was full of questions. Where did he go? Was any of it real? I sat on my bed holding the small box where I had kept all my receipts, my savings plan, my restaurant sketches, my dreams. The money was gone. I went to the police station. I told them everything. I cried. He said he loved me. The officer looked tired. He said, "We'll do what we can, but if you gave him the money by choice, it's difficult." "What do you mean?" I asked, shaking. "If there's no contract, no proof, then it's not a crime. It's just betrayal." Betrayal. That word hit me like a knife. I walked home slowly. I felt ashamed. How could I be so stupid? My friends didn't understand. They said, "You should have been careful. Why did you give him the money?" Some said, "Maybe you wanted too much too fast." I stopped talking to them. I stopped smiling. I stopped believing in people. Each day felt like a year. I had no money, no dream, no trust. I was alone, but I decided I would not give up. I wouldn't let him win. I didn't have much left, only a few clothes, a small rented room, and a little food to eat. I knew I couldn't sit and cry forever, so I began working again. I found a part-time job in a beauty salon. The pay was small, but it was enough for me to survive. Every day I helped clients with hairstyling, nails, and makeup. I smiled at strangers, even when I wanted to cry. I saved every coin I earned. I made tea at home. I didn't buy new clothes. I didn't eat at restaurants. I didn't go out. One night after work, I opened my old phone and searched his name again. Jason. The boy who said, "I love you," every night. The boy who kissed my forehead and said, "I'll take care of you." The boy who vanished with my dreams. And suddenly, there he was. A new profile, a new name, a different city, but the same smile. He had posted a photo with another girl. The caption said, "My everything." My hands shook, my heart raced, but this time I didn't cry. I took a screenshot. Then I opened my notebook and began to write down everything I remembered. Dates, places, messages, bank transfers. His lies. I was going to fight back, not with anger, but with truth. I called the police again. I told them I had more evidence now. The officer listened. He sounded serious. "We'll open a case," he said. That night, for the first time in weeks, I slept without crying. I was still hurt and still scared, but I had something new. Strength. 1 week later, the police called me again. They had found some online accounts of Jason. They asked me to come to the police station. I took my notebook. It had many screenshots and notes. I sat in front of the police officer. I felt nervous, but I spoke clearly. He said he loved me. He wanted to start a new life with me. He asked me for help. I gave him $100,000, 0 cents. The officer wrote everything down. "You are not the only one," he said. I was surprised. "What?" I asked. He showed me his computer screen. There were 3 other women. They lived in different cities. But the story was the same. Jason lied to them too. Jason took their money. Jason broke their hearts. I felt very sad, but I also felt strong. I was not alone. The police gave me the phone number of one woman. Her name was Adeline. I called her that evening. She was crying. Her voice was soft and weak. "He told me I was special," she said. "I gave him everything. Then he disappeared." We both cried. We were strangers, but we had the same pain. The police said they were working on the case. They would try to find Jason. They told us to wait. It could take time. After I spoke to Adeline, we began talking every day. We talked on the phone. We weren't just 2 women with the same problem. We were now friends. Adeline was kind. She listened to me. I listened to her. We shared our stories, our pain, and even our dreams. One day, Adeline said, "Let's not cry anymore. Let's do something." "Like what?" I asked. "Let's help other girls," she said. That idea made me feel alive again. We made a small page online. We named it Be Careful, Sister. We wrote articles like How to Stay Safe Online, How to Know if Someone is Lying, What to Do if You Are Hurt. We shared our own stories. Soon, other girls began to write to us. One girl said, "Thank you. Your story saved me. I almost gave money to a man like that." I smiled when I read that message. My heart still had pain, but I had hope. Perhaps I lost my money. Perhaps I was lied to, but I still had a voice, and now I was using it. Adeline and I became close, like sisters. We made a promise: no more lies, no more tears. 1 year passed. The pain in my heart became smaller. I worked hard. I made new friends. I saved a little money. I was not the same girl anymore. I was stronger. I was wiser. But sometimes I still cried at night. One evening, I looked at myself in the mirror and said, "It was not your fault. You loved someone, you believed him. That is not bad. That is beautiful." The next day, Adeline and I walked together. Adeline said, "You know, he stole money from us. But he gave us something too." "What?" I asked. "Power," she smiled. And at that moment I knew this was not the end of my story. It was just the beginning. If you like this story, please like, share, and subscribe.